So I waited some time to cover this topic because I wanted to think about each of the individual things we're going to go over in this video, but what we're going to talk about right now are the trophies that were leaked for Jump Force, which means we have access to every single trophy in the game. When we get access to these trophies or achievements, we can learn quite a lot about the game. So we're going to go over each of these achievements throughout this video. Well, not each of them because there's a lot of them, but we're going to go over the ones that are definitely most important. So sit back and enjoy. Let's get into it. First of all, we have some information on missions, notably that there are different difficulties for different missions. For example, we have easy, normal, hard, very hard, and expert. That's a pretty wide range of difficulty. So I'm really interested to see how much of a difference there is between hard and very hard and normal and hard. That's something we're going to have to wait and see though. We've got free missions, which are apparently a different thing than regular missions. Also another type of mission, which is being defined as extra missions. Don't know what that means either. One thing that extra missions could be is perhaps maybe kind of a redo of a previous mission, but kind of a what if scenario. For example, let's say Naruto and Toguro have to fight in the story. An extra mission could be the same encounter, but with a twist. For example, this time you play as Toguro. Obviously, there's no confirmation of that. I'm just speculating. All right, let's move on to a bit of information about the avatar system or create a character system, whatever you want to call it. This trophy is titled Getting Warmed Up, and it references raising an avatar to level 10. This confirms that there is a type of leveling system in the game, although that has been confirmed in other screenshots as well. This is not surprising. We assumed that we were going to be able to level up our creator character for some time, specifically in the story mode. The big question about leveling is how does that affect online? Are your stats increased online because you have a higher level CAC? I don't know. That's a good question. One that I hope is answered. Another trophy, Fashion Master, is earned by obtaining 50 or more avatar outfit items or parts, confirming that at least 50 outfit parts do exist, which is not surprising. In fact, I'm pretty sure we've already seen at least 50 parts. So here's a more interesting one. We've got Reliable Companions, which is raise 10 support characters above level 70 through battle. Again, we don't know what that means. We have no confirmation on what that means. So I've seen some people already jump the gun and say that support characters are confirmed. I don't think that's what that means. I think what support characters probably are the supporting cast, the characters that aren't your creator characters. If Luffy is on your team in the story mode, he's a supporting character. At least that's how I interpret that information. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just my take on it. Basically, every character involved in the story besides your CAC is going to be a supporting character. That's my theory. With that somewhat disappointing interpretation out of the way, moving on to something that I'm actually quite excited about. They've confirmed titles through these trophies. Earn 50 or more titles is the description of this trophy. I love collecting titles and customizing my profile in these types of games. In My Hero One's Justice, it was my objective to actually unlock every single title. I stopped playing that game because of other games that got in the way, namely Smash Brothers. However, I had so much fun going for those, and I intend to unlock every single one in Jump Force, unless there's some like super difficult ones, but I should be fine. I can't wait to see what the unlock methods for this are. Unfortunately, that means I'm probably going to end up having to play like literally every character in the game, which I'm not looking forward to, because that means I have to play Sanji. It means I have to play a handful of other characters I'm not interested in, but that's okay. We're gonna get through it. Okay, so let's go over some of these collectible things, starting off with skills. We have 3 different types of skills. We have abilities, ability skills, and support skills. I'm assuming abilities are just that. They're like the regular abilities, like when you hold R2 and you press a button. I'm assuming that's an ability. Then you've got special abilities. I have no idea what that means. Perhaps it's an awakening technique, or perhaps a different buff on an awakening technique, or something like that. And support skills, which are probably just different type of assists you can equip onto your avatar. At least I'm hoping so. I'd love to be able to customize your assist. Alternatively, abilities could be combos, and ability skills could be special moves. This trophy reads, obtain dropped items 1,000 or more times. That's really interesting to me because previously I thought the only way to unlock items or abilities or anything like that would be through the item shop. I didn't think we were going to have master trainers or anything like that. I thought that everything was just going to be obtained through the shop, but apparently you can just get drops. I'm not sure what drops are. My assumption is that after matches you'll occasionally receive a drop, just kind of like Injustice 2 if anyone ever played that. When you won matches you would get items afterwards, so maybe we have a system like that in the game. Then you've got King of Coin, which reads obtained more than 1 million gold. So gold is apparently our currency. Nothing surprising there. I think we all assumed some type of in-game currency would be in the game so that we could purchase things from the item shop. With all of that out of the way, we're about to enter spoiler territory. So if you don't want to watch from here on out, I completely understand. Thank you for watching the video. Let's jump into the spoilers though. Chapter 1 is called Seeds of Evil. This is likely setting up Cain and the Onyx book. Chapter 2 is called The Big Bad. This is possibly our first encounter with Cain. Chapter 3 is called The Mysterious Woman. I'm assuming that's either Galena or possibly even Kaguya, but I'm leaning more towards Galena. Chapter 4 is called An Insidious Plot, which could literally mean anything. I'm not going to try and interpret anything from that. Chapter 5 is called Replicas, which is probably the first time we see these guys, or other creator character type characters that have the pale skin and the red eyes. And Chapter 6 is called The Twisted Entourage. This is possibly referring to a group of villains from Weekly Shonen Jump. I doubt it's talking about Cain and Galena, because while a group of 2 could be referred to as an entourage, generally when you hear that word, people are using it for a group larger than 2, so perhaps maybe this is the group of villains that's going to end up working with Galena and Cain. No one knows, we're just speculating here, but I don't think the Twisted Entourage is going to be referring to just Cain and Galena. Chapter 7 is called Creation, and I have no idea what to take away from that. I'm not even going to begin to speculate on that one. And Chapter 8 is called Puppet Master. This is the big one. I think this is the first clue we have for Light being the big bad, the big villain who's controlling everyone in the end. I think this is probably where the good guys find out that Light's been working against them, because Chapter 9 is called Darkness and Light, which feels like confirmation that at the very least Light gets a hold of the Onyx book, which is the big item in the end. This is the Infinity Gauntlet of the series. So if he does get a hold of the Onyx book, will he obtain Cain's powers? Are we going to fight Light in the story? Is he going to be the big final boss? Will Light be playable? Here's my current take on it. If Light is the final boss, it wouldn't surprise me. I feel like he actually will be. I'm pretty confident at this point, but I don't think he'll be playable in any way. At the very least, though, you should be able to create Light pretty easily in the creator character menu, so you'll be able to create any version of Light that you want, and hopefully you'll be able to use some of Cain's moves in the creator character system, so you might be able to make a rough version of the final boss in the creator character menu, but I don't think Light himself will be playable. Thanks to PS360, we actually also got to look at some of the battle options, which I suppose are customization options. We've seen J skills, which, as far as I can tell, just give you some type of buff. All of this stuff just kind of results in you getting extra buffs, which is why I didn't want to make a separate video about it. It's not very exciting to me so far. So they're all just like quotes from anime, which is cool, I guess, but I'm just not sure how exciting this is. Like, it's just an extra buff. I mean, we'll have to wait and see until we get our hands on it, I guess. The most exciting thing here are elements. We've got abilities, of which of course show off, well, first of all, it shows off our first example of an awakening that isn't Spirit Bomb. I think that's the first time we've ever seen that. It's Light Grenade in this screenshot. We've got Death Beam on Circle, Gatling Gun on Special 2, and Kamehameha on Special 1. Interesting that he only has Dragon Ball moves, so perhaps this character chose the Dragon Ball path in the story mode. And then we see Element Select, and some people are saying that this is lightning coming off of the Kamehameha. I don't know if I subscribe to that. I don't know if that's quite right. But I will say that this element screen is at the very least interesting. I'm curious to see where it goes when we've actually got the full system and what exactly that means. How much are we going to be able to customize these visual effects? Then we get a look at some support skills. Not sure what any of this means. I'm not sure how it all comes together. Regardless, I'll just kind of play all the screenshots that we got to look at on screen right now. It's so hard to tell what any of this means. It's really cool to get a look at it, but trying to speculate off of this, I think it's just going to lead you down kind of a bad rabbit hole where you think there's way more to it than there actually is. So I'm just going to not touch all of this stuff. I'm not going to think about it. I'm just going to wait and see what it's actually like in the game. Because all of this could be anything from a really basic system that just gives you tiny little buffs, all the way up to an incredibly in-depth customization system where we can change even the colors of our special effects and stuff like that. But to begin to speculate on that, I think does a disservice to yourself. So I'm just gonna leave it alone. Oh, and one more thing. There's this screenshot of what I'm assuming is story mode where your CAC is very clearly in player position 1 and he's leveling up and he's at level 24, but he also has Asta and Yugi next to him who are at level 8. What I find interesting about this is that they are so much lower of a level, and they also happen to be in player 2 and player 3 slot. At this point, I'm pretty confident that you're playing as your CAC the entire time, and you kind of build your team around your supports, Asta and Yugi in this case, and I'm kind of curious to see what they're going to do, whether you're going to actually be able to switch to those characters, or whether you can only use them as assists in the story mode. Because I'm assuming those are actually the characters that are being considered quote-unquote support characters that we mentioned earlier on in the trophies. Let me know what you think of all of this information though, the trophies, the battle options, all that good stuff. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. My name has been Bilbsy, and I'll see you in the next video.